We're joined now by Effie Marinos, the Global Technical Governance Manager for SGS. Effie, nice to have you here today.
Thank you so much.
Can you just explain how different the approaches are to supply chain management in different parts of the world and how you account for those differences?
Well, really, a lot of it is driven by customer requirements. So if we look at the US framework versus the European, we see a lot more focus on compliance from the US, whereas in Europe they do seem to be further along in the engagement cycle. And traditionally in mainland Europe, sorry, I'm going to be a bit Brexity here, but in mainland Europe there was a much bigger focus on environmental issues, whereas somewhere like the UK we've always been very, very strong on the people issues. So we do see a big difference in how people are approaching, even when they're using the same code of conduct or standard.
The subject of this conference is defining beyond compliance. What does it mean to you? Has that definition become any clearer today as a result of hearing the speakers speak?
I think it's always interesting to see where people are coming from. And of course, yes, we have for some time now had the focus going on, okay, what else are you doing? How can you support these factories, these farms, whatever, in actually going beyond compliance? The difficulty as an audit company is that we always have to be very, very mindful of segregation of duties, of impartiality. We can't audit our own solutions. And so, yes, we do provide things like training. We do provide public type of consultation. We don't do one-to-one. But what we do try to do in the audit is to actually spend a lot more time, for example, in the closing meetings, explaining to people what have we found and what could they be doing better.
This afternoon we're going to be talking about whose responsibility it is to go beyond compliance. Are there geographical differences in how people approach that idea that they individually have responsibility?
To some extent, and again driven largely by what is the perception in their own marketplace. And it's, you see people like Walmart who are now saying that they want to actually focus on trust. Others are just happy not to be coming into the spotlight. So people are coming at, well, what are my own customers' expectations? If you're a consumer-facing organisation, are my customers actually interested in this? Are they asking about this? Or am I just, doing this for my shareholders and other stakeholders?
How clear are the benefits of going beyond compliance then? Because it can end up being just a discussion about systems if you're not careful, can't it? And
absolutely.
What is it more than regulation that we're doing? You need to know what the benefits are to the business, to and everybody in the supply chain.
Absolutely, but that is where the retailers have such a key role to play. Because, well, not just the retailers, but anybody who's commissioning these requirements of their supply chain. If there is a very, very clear definition and people can see that if I am going beyond, if I am improving, I will have perhaps first bite at tenders, I will get more business from my customers. That makes the argument very, very powerful. But if people are seeing this as an added cost, but actually at the end of the day, because they are maybe, I'm a factory in Bangladesh and I'm supplying people in China, I'm supplying people in the US, I'm supplying people in Japan. Well, one customer may be asking me to go beyond, others might just want me to stay where I am because they're more interested in cost. How do I square that circle? And it's a real, real battle for the person who feels this is just being done to me rather than feeling that they're actually engaged in this whole process.
What strikes me is that a lot of organisations, a lot of businesses aren't really making capital out of the fact that they're going to all this trouble, not just to be compliant, but to go beyond compliant. I mean, aren't they missing a trick?
To some extent, but equally, initiatives like Sedex were formed on the basis that this is a non-competitive area. There is an understanding we should all be doing this. If you then go out and you're blowing your trumpet about, well, I'm wonderful because I'm, paying all my people, above the minimum wage, you're suddenly breaking out of that fold, and that in itself is quite difficult.
Effie Marinos from SGS, thank you very much.
Thank you.